Hello everyone. How is everyone doing these days? Welcome back and thank you for joining me yet again. I hope everyone is continuing to do well and knowing that we are still missing you guys a lot. But thank you again for joining me here again today, and I hope that you guys are enjoying these every single time that we come together. It's really a lot of fun. It's very special to me. I know the last couple of times that we have gotten together to do some projects, we have kind of looked at the idea behind the color wheel, right? We've done a couple of projects, and I do have other projects based on the color wheel to do another time, but I wanted to shift gears a little bit today and start something kind of sort of new. I touched on it a little bit before, but just to review, obviously we did the color wheel, which we just kind of looked at. We did some drawings and some projects based on that. We had the 3 primary colors, the 3 secondary colors, and I really kind of just wanted to introduce you to that and give you a chance to kind of create and explore using those colors and kind of giving you an idea of when you look at things and you see color, maybe you can kind of, look at it a little bit differently now, or if you're coloring and you find yourself, well, what do I do in this situation? It just gives you an idea of how to go about creating maybe the different tones and values of a color that you need, right? So that was kind of my reasoning for that. But the last time we were together, we talked a little bit about, or I talked a little bit about, I should say, a concept called subject matter, okay? And really, subject matter is present in every single drawing or sketch or project or creation that you do, right? The subject matter is simply what it is you're drawing, what you're seeing, what you're drawing, what you're basing your project around, right? It's what you're drawing. So it's kind of a big fancy word for that, okay? So that being present in every single thing that we draw, just if I ever refer to that as the subject matter of your drawing, you'll understand what it is, right? So it doesn't really need to have any huge projects geared specifically towards that concept because we've been doing it right along. But I did want to start something new today, and you might hear me, use the terminology from this point forward called subject matter. But I did want to talk about a new idea, and it might be a big word for you, big fancy word. But oftentimes, like some, especially in art, like symmetry, subject matter, even color wheel, those all are kind of big fancy terms for very simple ideas, okay? So today what I thought we would do a couple of projects on, starting with today's project, is the idea of what's called perspective. Now, perspective is, again, kind of one of those big fancy words, and I don't want you to get, kind of like, oh, I have to learn this, or I'm not, no, not at all, right? It's just, I wanted to give you some, art vocabulary, if you will, and I also wanted to kind of give you the meanings, give you examples so that you might be able to use that later on, or you might hear me talk about it. So today's word is perspective. Big fancy word. All it means is from the point of view in which you see something, or how you see something, or how something looks for you, okay? Imagine yourself outside and you're in a really pretty field of flowers, okay? And as far as you can see, right, you've got these flowers. The ones that are closer to you, you can see more of the detail in those flowers, right? The flowers that are farthest away, they might only end up looking like kind of blanket of color, right? You can't distinguish one flower over the other, right? But those are far away. So perspective is how you see things and how you position yourself to see things, right? So those are, or I should say, that's a concept that you might hear me talk about, and I'd like to do a couple of lessons from this point forward based on that, okay? So again, the word is perspective. So I'm going to show you the project. I'm going to jump right to it. I'm going to show you the project that I have for you today. And once again, I'm doing some of these projects kind of with simple materials, right? Just some white pieces of paper, white sketchbook, whatever. usually just a pencil with an eraser, right? And then colored pencils or crayons or markers, anything that you choose. And again, no pressure, right? This is all if you want to participate, if you want to do this and have a little fun, be creative. Just me giving you some basic ideas and skills in which, you can use later on to explore. Okay, so that said, the project that I have for you today, and you'll probably see it right away, is the idea based on perspective. And perspective, again, is just from where you see things or how you see things, okay? So I'm imagining myself looking at a really pretty flower, and on that flower, on the tip of that flower, I should say, is a little ladybug. But I'm bending over, and I'm looking down, and I'm looking closely at that flower. So as I'm looking at that flower, I might not even see all of that flower, right? I might only see half of the flower because I'm focused in on that little ladybug, all right? So I want you to get your pencils ready, your erasers, your pieces of paper, and then whatever coloring material you would like to use, and we're going to get started. Okay, so I'm going to flip to my project here. Again, you'll have to bear with me because I've done so many now. My sketchbook is getting full. All right. Are you ready? So you'll see, I think, what I'm getting at are the principles, the idea that I'm getting at with this this word vocabulary word called perspective. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. So here it is, right? This is my flower. I kind of want to just focus in on that little ladybug at the top of my flower. All right. Just sitting there, all cute. Okay. So I am looking very, very closely at that flower. It's really, really close to my face, close to my eyes, to the point that I can't even see part of that flower. That's my perspective, right? It's very close to my face. I might be bent over down looking at it, or I might have picked that flower very, very carefully with the ladybug on it and brought it up to my face so that I can study it. That's my perspective. So I'm going to show you how to do this drawing, okay? It's just a simple line drawing, all right? And then, again, one of the reasons that I kind of gave you the basis or the basics of the color wheel was so that a lot of the projects that I do, as you can see, right, they're simple line drawings with color added to them at the end. So I wanted you to have an idea of how to break this drawing down. Beyond that, feel free to go back and color any way you want. I took my colored pencil and I lightly colored in the background after I did my line drawing. I chose the color for my flower. It includes the center part, includes the petals, right? And then you can even draw a different kind of bug if you want. Just go ahead and play with it. These are just, again, just some ideas that I have for you, okay? All right, so I'm going to show you how to draw this project, I should say, and from this perspective. So I'm going to flip to a clean piece of white paper. I'm going to get my pencil. Well, you know what? I need a new pencil with a new eraser. So I'm going to get this one. And I have, I'm going to show you my kind of bucket O colored pencils, right? Now, just on a little fun note of my own, I love a variety of art mediums, but I do love colored pencils. I mean, this is just my preference, but you can use whatever colors or whatever you have available. Colored pencils are not messy. You can take them anywhere you go, right? So they're pretty portable. They can give you a lot of tone and depth to your coloring. You can shade with them. You can go back, you can erase it so it makes it like you have highlights on your page. And what I mean is like, let me flip back here, right? Where it's darker, I've taken, my color would be purple, okay, which is a secondary color, right? And over here I did some yellow, which obviously is a primary color. But in the corners, I've kind of darkened them or shaded them to give it some depth, right? And I've just colored the purple lightly, went back through, gave it some tones, and put some shading in there to give it that depth, right? That what, one petal might be in front of the other, okay? The perspective the way in which I see it. Okay, so here we go. Let's get to our drawing. And again, pencil, right? Eraser, get ready because you might need the eraser here pretty soon. At least I know I will. Well, I lost my eraser, so I'm gonna get a new one. All right, so we're gonna do it the long way. Okay, long up and down way. And I'm going to actually start this in the bottom left corner towards the bottom left corner of my my bottom corner, the left side of my paper. That's actually what I meant to say. So I'm going to create a half circle and it's going to be in the corner. I'm not going to create a whole circle because I'm going to give that impression of it being off the paper, right? So from my perspective of how I see it. So this can be whatever size you want your flower to be. I'm going to kind of go in through like this, and I'm just going to come around and I'm going to go like that. So you have it kind of go off of your page, okay? Now, what I did to help me at this point was because I wanted my petals of my flower to kind of go in like a little bit of an arc pattern, if you will, I put some dots, okay? And I'll show you. So I might want the page or the petal to come here. I might want another one to be about here. I might want another one to be maybe here. And I might want another one to be down here. But then I think, oh, I'm going to go back up here. And I might want to put one over here. And eventually kind of squeeze one in the corner. So I have these dots. And they're going to be the tips of my petals. But I'm going to, so I kind of, if you can, I'm not going to draw it with my pencil. But you can kind of see they kind of come around and form kind of another shape similar to this one. Now I'm going to turn my paper just a little. And remember what I said about turning your page, right? Whatever is most comfortable for you. I'm going to start kind of at the biggest point of my paper. So I'm going to choose this point right here. You can choose whatever dot you would like, okay? But this is just a marker for me. Now I'm going to make a couple of half circles. So again, just using the principles of our curved lines, right? And I'm going to come up here, I'm going to put my pencil tip here, and I'm going to draw kind of a half circle like this, right? Now I'm going to come up here, but it's going to be kind of an elongated or long or even more on the oval shape side, if you will, because I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go like this. And I'm just going to bring it down like that. Okay. And I'm going to then come back and I'm going to erase. I don't like that, how that erased. So or even that one for that matter. Try to get a better eraser here. There we go. That's a little bit better. And I'm going to finish that up. Now I'm going to put my little ladybug on this one right here. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to take my pencil and I'm just going to kind of darken a little bit of a line right here at the top, just as a marker that I'll come back to in just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue, but here's what I'm going to do with this next set of petals, okay? Because I want this one to be the one that is in my focus, the one that's the prominent one for my perspective or how I'm looking at it. I'm going to do the rest of them so that they look like that they're resting kind of behind. So I'm not going to sweep a whole line down like this, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this right here and I'm already thinking, maybe I'll come up here a little bit higher. So I erased that point. I'm going to come up here and watch what I'm going to do. And I'm going to stop. Now I am going to bring this one down like this. Now my hand got away from me on that. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to just kind of tidy that up. I didn't mean for it to be so broad right there. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to come over here. So I went from this one as my main. These are on the sides. I'm going to do each, but I'm going to do this line right here, very similar to how I did this one. So I'm just going to come over and I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to stop it right there. Okay. And then again, this one comes down. Now, if you're going to get stuck with it being inside the piece of paper in the crease, don't worry about it. So you might think, well, what am I going to do with this dot right here? Well, I'll show you. So I'm going to take the tip of my pencil once again, but at this time I'm just going to kind of do that same like line like this. All right. Now this one I'm going to actually trail off on the corner of the page. So you might not be able to see not only the rest of this petal, but the other petals that go around. Okay. So now I have something that looks like this, but I still have to come down here and do these. So here's where I'm going to actually turn my paper. because it's going to be easier for me, and I'm going to do the same. So I might actually come up here and bring this one up a little higher, almost to the edge of the page, and I'm going to go like this, and then I'm going to bring this one down here like this, okay? And then this one I'm going to erase again because I'm going to bring it up a little bit higher, and I'm going to just go like this, and right off the page. Right off the page. See how easy that was? Okay, so forgive me, I have my stuff in the way here. You're going to have a composition that looks like this. Let me shed a little light on this so you're going to see the different lines that I have. Let me pull it up. So before long, there's your basic line drawing. And yes, I have to go back and do the ladybug, but I wanted to flip back and show you. Okay, so you kind of get an idea of the petals, of the rounded portion of the inside of our flower. Now again, after you get it drawn in, it's just a matter of color. And that is something that I love to play around with. So I enjoy, different color, different palettes. So go right ahead and figure out what it is best that, you want to try to have fun with, right? The middle of this could be pink. These could be yellow. Right? Your sky could be, just keep it white. You could even color your sky like yellow. And I say that because, it could be the bright part of a sunny day, and all you see is when you're looking so closely at your flower, you're not really seeing the sky, right? Or maybe I've held mine up and it's way up high, and I'm tipping my head back, and I've got the flower and I'm pointing it and my hand is lifted, and I'm looking at that so that ladybug, if he needs to fly away, can fly away. So maybe that's why I see the sky in the background. But maybe you're looking at your flower and you're bent over looking at it, and you have it really close to your face, and all you might see is like the yellow of the sunlight, right? You don't even really see the sky. You just see the cast, the yellow color that it's so bright and sunny, right? So again, it's your imagination, it's your thing, it's your picture. But let me show you really quick how to do our little ladybug. And before you know it, we are all done. So again, just to recap, this is kind of a study in, obviously we've reviewed our colors, we've talked about our line drawings and the different types of line that we use, right? This is all just curved lines. And then today it was not only about the subject matter, was my flower and my ladybug, but it was looking at this subject matter from my perspective, the perspective that I chose, or how I want to look at something, and that's what I drew, okay? So again, let's look forward to a few more projects based on this idea of perspective, and then we'll see where we go from there. But in the meantime, let's just wrap it up by doing our ladybug. So back up to this line, you'll notice, right, that I had kind of darkened this little part of the petal here. And that was on purpose. So if you kind of darken that area, it gives you like the underside or the bottom of our ladybug. So now I'm just going to do a series of curved lines, right? Well, one curved line actually in one circle, and that's it. All right, so I'm going to take where I drew that straight line, where I darkened that, and I'm just going to kind of come up and draw like that upside down U, right? Or a shape like this, half a circle, if you will. All right, and then all I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to add a circle like right here, and I'm going to kind of give it so it's coming off of its body. All right, and then I colored this head black, I colored the body red with black dots, and then for his little antenna I just kind of went up and I actually curved him in like this. Okay, so I went up and I curved in like this, and then I just kind of put like a little straight line at the end, so it looked like that they were little feelers. Okay, and then like I said, it's just a matter of coloring. Let me flip back so I can show you, right? So that's all there is to it. All right, and again, play around with it, color, experiment, whatever. Just imagine yourself holding that flower, or bent over looking at that flower, or holding it up high in your hand and drawing what you see, or from what perspective you see your subject matter. Okay, so there it is. There you have it. And again, we're going to do a few more of these, and I look forward to this once again. And I definitely want to end our time every time telling you how much you're missed, hope you're making good choices and staying healthy and all of that. And can't wait to see you guys again very soon. So you take care of yourselves, and get outside when you can. And I will be back again with another project for you another day. Take care, guys.